On this week's episode of BJ in the Morning, we're going to talk about some beef going on between Millennials, us, and Gen Z. Let's go. Welcome to BJ in the Morning. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Juan.
And we are Millennials, believe it or not.
We sure are.
We're 31.
Almost 32.
Almost 32.
Almost 32.
You know, I don't know if I want to do this episode. But yeah, we have come across some interesting things on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit talking going on, basically. Yeah. And
it's getting thrown back and forth.
It's not just one-sided.
Yeah.
But it's funny because this has happened forever, from the dawn of time. We did it to the generation before us.
Uh-huh.
They do it to us.
Uh-huh.
We do it to the one under us. They do it to us.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like we're getting picked on a lot as millennials.
We do it to the generation before us.
We hate a lot of people. Our generation really doesn't like a lot of the generations.
We're just a bunch of hatters.
Hatters? We make hats?
A bunch of hatters. You
You
wouldn't agree? We're not a bunch
some
of
haters?
Hatters.
Haters? Are you a dog? Hatters. I've never made a hat in my life, but I do own a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're haters. But I think most generations have problems with the generations around theirs. I think that's just the way of life.
The circle of life?
The circle of
generations.
Generational shit talking.
It's the circle of generations.
But I think it's really funny because a lot of the things that we saw where they're like poking fun at millennial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I can
100% true.
We're here as millennials to admit our faults, but also stand our ground and state our case.
Yeah.
And
who cares?
I think it's funny. Honestly,
it is funny.
I think it's funny. It's the same thing when, you make fun of your parents for doing silly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Make fun of your grandparents for silly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing to us. That's what we do to everyone else. It is, as we have stated multiple times now, the circle of generation.
The circle of generations. Talking lots of shit.
Nice. That was good. I like that.
It's the circle.
Keep going.
The circle of talking shit about generations before you and after you and even the generation that you live in.
Yeah. Yeah. And that pink pajamas, penguins on them. Anyways, we don't need Disney coming after us today. We're already going to have Gen Z and other millennials coming after us.
So just to reiterate,
mm-hmm.
we've already talked about before on the podcast, like the different generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have.
Yeah.
Like what years they were born.
Yeah, which seems to fluctuate still, depending on the source.
Yeah.
Because I have an article pulled up. Never heard of this place before, this website, whatever, because I wanted to find one we hadn't already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But this one says that millennial generation, or Gen Y, which we were commonly known as before millennial took over,
mm-hmm.
is for people born between 1982 and 2000. Which is close to what we've talked about in the past, because I think it was like 85 the last time we talked about it.
1980.
80?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, weird. The numbers aren't adding up here. But also, there's not like a dude in charge of all this, right? There's not like
the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair.
There's no guy in the chair.
There's no guy in the chair for this. There's not a section of the White House or whatever. I don't know. Where do people work in the Senate and stuff? You know,
the Pentagon?
The cabinet of
cabinet.
The cabinet. The
There's
presidential
no cabinet.
There's no person for generational naming and numbers and stuff. So it's all kind of just, they stopped acting like the other ones, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, anytime basically between 1980-ish to 2000 seems to be millennials.
Uh-huh.
And then from 2001 to about 2019, I can read. That's going to be Gen Z.
Okay.
So a lot of the beef we're talking about is between us and them.
Sure. But let me read the exact dates that I have.
Okay.
Just so we can see the fluctuation here.
Okay.
Millennial is 1980 to 1995.
Mm-hmm.
And Gen Z is 1996 to like the late 2000s.
Yeah, so these numbers are all over the place.
All over.
We need a clear, concise number here.
We need a cabinet.
We need someone up in Congress, like the Speaker of the House, but we need the Speaker of the Generations.
Speaker of the Generations.
Maybe that's us.
Maybe.
It could be us.
Maybe we should do it.
Vote for us.
So should vote for us, but should we definitively pick a year?
I think 80 is too early.
Okay.
Personally.
All right.
So I would probably go closer to like 80.
89?
Maybe, yeah. I think
85?
I think 85 is good because from years 1 to 5, do you remember that?
No.
So you grew up in the 90s then if you were born 85, right? That's what you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were born early 90s. We remember some of the 90s, but not all of it, you know?
So 85
to probably
95.
95.
I say 95, yeah.
Yeah, maybe 96 to play it safe, you know, just give that 1 year gap. But honestly, I think if you remember 9/11, you're a millennial. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make light of a situation here, but I think that might be the cutoff. Like if you don't remember this tragic event in our U.S. history, and if you weren't alive for it, you're not a millennial, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
Understood.
It makes sense to me in my head. But other things that we might have experienced, you know, like DVDs. We used cassettes and VHS tapes when we were growing up.
Yeah, we sure did.
Blu-ray wasn't a thing.
What's that?
Yeah. Well, we know now because now we're
right.
Now we know.
I know it, but what's that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How about the transition from CDs to iPods and then from iPods to just nothing? Does your car have a CD player in it?
No.
Me either.
Wait, does it? No, it doesn't.
I had to get rid of my little case of CDs. You had one too.
Yeah, I had remember. A big old case.
Yeah, and
I would keep it just in case.
Y'all never know
when your aux cord would break,
or when you burn.
How about an aux cord?
Do you remember burning CDs for your friends?
Yes.
And like you'd be like, "This is the perfect playlist for this exact moment."
Yeah.
And then you would keep that CD mix. No matter how shitty it was or how much it bounced around genre to genre, that was your friend's playlist.
Yeah,
I still have one that I burned, like one of the last CDs I ever burned, somewhere in a drawer, because I'm like, that was the last one I ever did.
Yeah,
and it had Hoodie Allen on it.
Oh,
you know,
not that long ago,
right?
Man. Well, still a long time ago, but not that long ago,
right?
But going back, how about using an aux cord?
Yeah, just in general.
Or how about the cassette Bluetooth thing?
Oh, when you had to put the cassette thing in there and then it had the aux cord connected to it?
Yeah.
Or the radio tuner one?
Yeah.
Where you would plug the thing into your phone or your iPod.
Yeah.
And then you would have to turn the radio.
It to the radio.
Yeah. Do you remember MySpace? Us millennials, we definitely went through a lot of crazy changes in the world of like technology, political climates, learning things too late or too early.
Yeah.
And I think while we were watching videos and everything, there was a lot about money in there, like way too much about money. And I know I complain about money a lot, you know, and it's making money, it's spending money, it's all those kind of things that make us millennials so different from other generations, I guess, is, again, a lot of the beef that's coming out online. especially from the generations before us.
Yeah.
But we were promised a lot of things when we were kids that didn't pan out while we became adults.
And speaking of money, here's a first like generational difference between the two, right? Is that millennials, they might either A, be broke or B, make decent money, but still complain about being broke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or still like, I don't know if it's like an attention thing or what, but they want to talk about how much money they don't have.
Yeah. And I think that comes down to more of like the want to make more money without the drive to make more money.
Right.
I know that there are times where I'm just like, nah, I can't do it. I'm too broke. Or I will make jokes about like people like, oh, can you go do this? Like people at work will be like, hey, you want to go over and get us a drink while you're going over there? I'm like, no, I'm broke.
No. But with Gen Z, I feel like they could be completely dead broke, and then
they won't say shit.
They will actually buy shit still to like look like they're living this glorious, glamorous lifestyle.
But is that how we think or how it is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I know there's times where I spend my money to make it look like I live more luxuriously than I do, and then I am broke.
Right.
But I've always made it work. It's like, yeah, I live almost paycheck to paycheck. Like, there are definitely things in my budget. Mom, I know we talk about it a lot. There are definitely things in my budget that could get cut out to make it so I have more money coming in than going out.
Yeah.
But also, like, that's the millennial way, I think, is like we live the life we want to live. Like, do you save a bunch of money every paycheck? You don't have to say an amount. I'm just asking,
what's a bunch?
Like, do you put money in your savings account every check?
Most checks. Yeah.
Most checks, right?
Yeah.
Same. That money, is it rising as quickly as I want it to? No. Is it going to pay for something in the future? Yes. But also, like, there are some paychecks where I'm like,
no,
it went to bills.
Not today.
No. You're like 2 days before payday and like 13 cents in my account.
You're like, what?
I'm not pulling from my savings.
Wait.
What?
What? Wait a minute.
But that's the thing is like, with Gen Z, their whole thing that I guess we were seeing a lot of, and I think it maybe applies to millennials, is that a lot of people have graduated with degrees and are still unable to find jobs that are going to pay them the way that we were promised they would pay us when we were kids, Nor
do they want to do those jobs that they got the degree for.
That might be the case too, yeah.
A lot of millennial cop-outs, though, was like business.
Yeah.
What are you going to go to school for? Oh,
business.
I don't know. Business. What are you going to do with that?
Business stuff.
Business. I'm going to start a business.
I'm going to do a business thing over here.
Gen Zs are like, I don't need to go to college. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
But that brings up the other question with education stuff is like, do you need to go to college to learn?
No.
Right. So why did I?
Right.
That's the argument.
But here's my argument for you.
Okay.
And I will always argue on your side for the reason why you went to college is you needed the motivation.
Right.
And college was your motivation.
Yeah, it was like more of a, hey, you should stop partying so much and get your shit together. And I was like, I'll go back to school because that's what we were programmed to do. Is to go to school.
Or go to the army.
Or that. And I didn't want to do that. So I went to school.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at us now.
Good for us.
Look at us now.
No college degree. Oh, well, there's one college degree in this room.
Out of the two people in this room, half of us have degrees. but we didn't do all the shit like this before I went to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we really didn't. And I think because we lived together for most of the time I was going to school, or a good chunk of it right at the beginning. And then at the end, we were like doing a lot of projects together for my school, which was fun. And it was motivating to both of us. So I think you should help me pay for my college degree. I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
So
just disregard
Are you
it.
trying to say that a quarter of us have degrees in this room?
Half of each of us have a degree.
All right.
Yeah.
My man.
But anyways, see, college did something good. It motivated us to create BJ in the morning.
Sure.
Sorry, sidetrack real fast.
Sidetrack?
The first video project that I actually did in college, the first sign that we had for BJ in the morning, which was just that like plastic marquee sign that we bought, is in that video.
Oh, yeah.
Right on the table.
Yeah.
Did it help? No. But it was there because we shot a video at the table that we used to record the podcast at.
Yep.
The first 3 episodes of the podcast until we switched to the couch to be more comfy.
Be more comf.
But yeah, anyways, back to the beef.
The beef.
Let's get
into the nitty-gritty.
Where's the beef?
The beef started. This is what sparked this whole episode idea, right? Is Gen Zs are making fun of millennials for the way they record videos. They're calling it the millennial pause.
Right.
All right.
And I definitely started the intro to this episode with the pause. You saw me make eye contact with you after I did it, right? Because I was just like, I fucking did it.
Trying not to laugh. Okay.
But I didn't want to point it out until we got to the beef.
Yeah.
You know?
So before we get into it, they started calling it the millennial pause, making fun of the way we make videos.
And you have a video from us where we do it, right?
Yeah.
I think you should get it ready while you're talking about the
okay.
Just
so yeah. So then the millennials fired back and they said, "Okay, we have the millennial pause. We have the millennial pause."
You didn't need to start the sound.
I'm sorry. Right. It was an accident. We have the millennial pause, but you guys have the Gen Z shake.
So when I first heard that term, I pictured like when have you ever like gone to take video or a picture with your phone and your hand just shakes?
Yeah.
Because you probably haven't eaten or like not enough sleep or whatever like that. That's what I thought.
But no.
It's
like a quick transition. Like, oh my God, gotta set up my phone. I gotta say this right now.
Yeah. So they make it, and it's not like that. It's fake, right?
It's fake for sure. Did you find the lighting perfect? Oh yeah, I have it.
Yeah. Do you want to just for the audio and stuff?
Sure.
And we'll put the video in the video. So if you're watching on YouTube.
So this is me and Brendan proving the millennial pause. What's up, guys? I'm Juan.
I'm Brendan.
And we are BJ in the morning. And as you can see here, we got Stranger Things, Scoops of Horror.
Right. I think
What's up, guys? I'm Juan.
I'm Brendan.
So the music that we put in the video starts before we talk.
Yeah.
But then the Gen Z shake makes it seem like they're hitting record while setting their phone up to make it appear that they are just making a video on the spot without planning it, right?
In that video, we kind of did both.
Yeah, because you're moving the phone.
Yeah.
Like to have like some motion. And I think that comes from us like doing our research about what catches people's eyes on TikTok.
Yeah, and also I wanted it to be more of like a reveal.
Yeah.
For the ice cream.
Yeah, so we have that movement added in there.
Should we play another one?
If you'd like.
This is me going to Buc-ee's. What's up? It's Juan from BJ in the morning, and I just arrived somewhere that we don't have on the
Boosies.
Bussies.
Again, so I think us doing that comes from technology changing, and it's funny because I was thinking about it before we saw a video that brought it up too. When we started using cameras, you had to hit the button and it would usually take a second to record.
Yeah.
And we're still used to that as millennials.
Yes.
All of our age group is used to, you hit record, you have a second. Like, because nothing was instantaneous.
Or if you did start talking too fast, you were cut off.
You'd get cut off.
You have to start over.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's why we have that going on. Also, for us, as people who studied like TV productions and everything, like we did that through high school and on our own, like afterwards, and then college, blah, blah, blah. We always were told to take a beat after the record button's hit, so you have wiggle room to edit.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Just like that.
Welcome to BJ in the morning.
And I think we still do it because we still count down before we hit record. Just, a little behind the scenes for you.
Go. 3,
2.
No. Do it again without the head movement.
No, we always do the head. Just throwing back to our Wayne's World conversation from last week. But yeah, we were trained to do that for like camcorders, where there was VHS tapes and we had DV tapes we shot on. You remember shooting on DV tapes?
Yeah.
We had to have special VCRs just for these little tiny tapes.
Just to rip them off.
And now all the tapes that I have are useless because I can't get the video off of them.
I can't even. I found my camera and the DV tapes. Mm-hmm. I can't even find a charger for that camera.
We're going to have to go to Savers or something.
But
then there's the Gen Zers with their whip pan to start the video, or they're fumbling their phone to put it on the counter because they just then thought of an idea.
Mm-hmm. With perfect lighting.
Perfect lighting.
Perfectly done hair.
They look great. They're great, done up and chilling, and everything's fine and perfect and dandy. Bullshit.
Glorious lifestyle. I told you.
Yeah.
Glamorous.
But that. Like finding out about this beef that's going on currently, you said? Mm-hmm. This is a newer thing that just started popping up. Mm-hmm. It led to us kind of going down a rabbit hole of Gen Z versus Millennial stuff.
Yeah.
So I found, like I said, I had this article pulled up that basically goes over what the big differences are from Gen Zers to us. Mm-hmm. How we were born us as millennials, we were born in a world without social media. We got to be kids, we didn't have to do our hair and be looking fresh and clean and nice on social media because we didn't have that stuff when we were kids.
Yeah.
We didn't take Instagram photos of our breakfast and go out and hang out with our friends just to take pictures. We went out and got messy,
Yeah.
We
played in the mud.
We literally, I was just going to say, we used to dig holes to hang out in.
I used to chain my scooter to my friend's bike and have him tow me around.
That still sounds fun.
And one time he was like, "Hey, I'm going to jump into the wash." I was like, "All right, sick, I'm ready."
No, you weren't.
Not a good idea.
But seriously, we used to just go out and get messy, get hurt, get into trouble. And we didn't post about it. We didn't have smartphones. When did you get your first phone?
Well, I did get a phone in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. But my parents told me if I got straight A's, I would get a phone. Mm-hmm. And I did. Mm-hmm. And I got a phone, but it was a little Cricket payphone. It was a brick.
Yeah.
And it was for emergencies only. Mm-hmm. If you go outside the house and you need us, you can call us. And that was it. I had 2 phone numbers.
Yeah. Mom and dad.
Not
together, separately.
Yeah, separate phone numbers. But yeah, it was that was my first phone. Mm-hmm. I was 12, but I never had a smartphone. Mm-hmm. I never had an iPhone, let me say that, until I was 19. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I got my first iPhone senior year, maybe the year after.
Yeah.
I think it was 2011, honestly, because I remember that's when I got Instagram and stuff like that, Uh-huh. So it must have been around then. But yeah, I had a phone in most of high school, but my first phone could barely text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had to click that number 3 or 4 times to get the certain letter you wanted. T9, yeah. My first smartphone was in senior year, I think. Mm-hmm. And it had a touch screen on it, and that's what made it smart. It was a BlackBerry.
The internet still sucked.
Yeah. There was no videos. You couldn't do videos.
Yeah.
If you wanted to take pictures,
it was horrible.
You're only looking at the pictures on your phone. Because that's the only way they would look anything like what you took the photo of. But yeah, we didn't have all the things that the Gen Z has now to shape them to be so, I don't want to say advanced, but more tech savvy for sure. There's things out there I have no idea still, and I get it now, you know.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, yeah, I don't know. What is that?
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. So that was first on this list. The fact that we got to just be stupid kids and no one was judging us for being kids, you know?
Right.
What you got? What you got over there? What you got over there?
Like moving on the list?
If you'd like.
This next one, I didn't know what to compare it with for Gen Z. Mm-hmm. Is the millennial face zoom. Like while you're telling a story or you're showing something or whatever, you do the little quick zoom with the thumb, the little flick of the thumb thing. Yeah. I think that started on like Snapchat maybe.
I definitely do this.
Yeah.
And it's not on my face ever. It's always on other people. That's where the boys thing came from.
Yeah. Boys.
Quick zoom and hope your friend is looking in your direction when you do it and they'll just know.
Yeah. Boys. For Gen Z, I think like there was a video that I saw and there was like, stop zooming like this. And it was like, zoom like this. And it was just like a cut almost.
Yeah.
And I was like, how? Yeah. How do you do that?
How do you do that?
I don't know how you did that, but maybe that's the equivalent.
So basically Gen Z was just like, hey, stop with your face zooms.
Yeah.
That's a millennial thing.
Yeah. No zooming in jump cut. Jump cut is like the popular thing now.
Yeah, especially, and I think that comes from YouTube culture. Mm-hmm. YouTube really paved the way for jump cut culture is what I would call it. You know?
In school? No jump cuts.
No jump cuts.
We were
told so many times, never.
Dude, I made a video once, and our teacher, Mr.
You don't have to. Don't say anything.
Friend of the show. Mister. I want to say I got like a D.
Yeah.
On that project because I had too many jump cuts.
But now jump cuts are the thing for.
Yeah, look at us now, mister.
The videos that we made then would have been perfect for YouTube now. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and I'm not saying they would have been great or like viral or anything like that, but they would have fit in.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Do you remember making the Pokemon video where we learned how to like mask for the first time and we had Pokemon like still images jumping around in the video that we definitely copied from Smosh. But we were just so proud of it because we learned from Smosh to do a Pokemon video where we sang the Pokemon song and we would hold out our hands or like make little like moves where we could add Pokemon jumping in and out of frame. I don't know. Anyways, YouTube wasn't a thing then.
We stole that?
Definitely.
No. Whoopsie.
I wouldn't say stole it. We were inspired by Smosh.
So the next one is a fashion choice.
That's crazy because the next one I have is fashion sense stuff too.
On the article?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So millennials still like to wear skinny jeans.
I love like skinnier jeans. Like I don't like super, super baggy jeans. Mm-hmm. And I never did. Even when we were in like middle school and high school, like, yeah, that's when like emo culture came to be and like skinny jeans were the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But like baggy pants to me always made me feel weird. And I don't like baggy clothes except shirts. Like I love a big baggy shirt most of the time. And I'll get a size up just because I like my shirts big and baggy.
Yeah.
But my jeans are usually a little skinny's not always the word.
Slim
fit. There we go. I like slim fit jeans, khakis, things like that because I don't like a lot of bag.
Yeah. So the millennials do skinny jeans or slim fit, I guess. Yeah. And Gen Z is like doing baggy pants and cargo pants and like for the girls the low rise jeans instead of the high waist jeans. Fashion choice, I guess. But when I see a younger person out there wearing the most ridiculous outfit and is like, they think they look really good, and I'm sure they do to people in their generation.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, you look silly.
And we are old. Yeah, so Gen Z, according to this article, Gen Z seems to prefer a lot of throwback outfits and vintage clothing. Through their style, they tend to pay homage to the fashion trends which the millennials grew up with. So all the trends that people were setting when we were kids are coming back, right? So they also tend to do more research on materials and conditions, such as illegal working conditions, to find out how their clothes were made. So they're more conscious about those kind of things. But yeah, I think the Gen Z fashion is definitely early 2000s, late 90s kind of vibes. It's all the stuff that we hated when we were kids. You know what I mean? Like, there were definitely trends that we jumped on, but they were like almost to the point where they were cringy to us then. You know? So, but that seems to be the style now. Like,
yeah, it's
the one that we tried as millennials, we tried so hard to break out of that, to make our own style for our generation. And now it's back.
It's back.
Immediately.
For sure.
But it's the same thing. If you think about it, I know for a fact that we talked a lot and we dressed a lot in like of ways that were probably influenced heavily from the 80s. Right? So think about it. Lots of black, lots of like ripped jeans, skinny jeans. A lot of people we knew wore like black boots and things like that. We also had skate culture in our mix, so we had a lot of like Vans and Converse, things like that. We dyed our hair black. That's straight up 80s like hair metal shit, you know? Studded belts, all that kind of stuff. We were so emo kids. I'm gonna say it now. We were so influenced by the 80s. It's not even funny. Yeah. Like, is it a bad thing? No, but it's the same thing that's going on now with Gen Z. Right. They're dressing like us, like our generations, like the shit we grew up with, right? We dress how our parents grew up with and made it our own. They're doing it now with the 90s and early 2000s. So wow, that's a good way to put it. I think it's sound. I think it's sound debate or argument. That's the word I'm looking for. Sound argument. I think I'm gonna go on a limb, say we're the first to talk about it like that. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Eating chicken wings.
So the next one is heart hands versus
I can't with this.
Heart fingers.
I don't like it.
So millennials, you say, show me a heart with your hands.
Yeah, and we'll 99% of the time go like this. That's what we grew up with.
99.9%.
99.9. Sometimes it's like this. Sometimes. Yeah. Can you do the new way? I hate it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It needs to go away. What do you do with all your other fingers?
You tuck them
in. What's the point?
Oh God, I got a cramp. It looks more like a diamond.
I can't even do it. Yeah.
But heart. This looks more loving.
That to me,
look how big it is.
There's two emojis on iPhone.
I can fit both my eyes in here.
There's two emojis on iPhone with the pink heart, and one of them has like extra lines around the edge, and one doesn't. That's what it is. Do you know what I'm talking about? Pull up your phone right now.
You mean like the pulsing heart?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, because right here you have all these your other little fingers. You know? I don't know.
You're talking about the pink one with like the.
It's got the waves. Yeah, that's what this looks like. The other one, I don't get.
Peace, love, and happiness. I guess.
I didn't know that it was changing. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, people started doing it the other way, and I'm like, no.
Do peace like this. Peace.
I don't like that either.
Peace.
Heading back over up. What's your opinion on the heart hands thing? Like,
well,
does it matter?
It doesn't.
But it does.
But like,
was it?
If you have to think about it, like when you sit down, like if I saw someone go like this, it wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm not going to do it. You know?
But just the fact that like the generational difference was noticed, that we do this and they do this.
It matters to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, the fingers do feel wrong, you know? And I don't know. That's my stance, dude. It feels wrong. It feels like wrong. I'm being naughty in a bad way.
I get it. And it's just weird. Like, it's just one of those things where I don't know why it bothers me.
Yeah.
It looks like it hurts to do. You know? Like,
yeah.
That's just me though. What else you got over there?
So we got also on the list that I came up with is millennial aging versus Gen Z aging.
This is a big one too. We've both kind of seen separately.
It's huge, and it's something that I've noticed a long time ago. Millennials either A, look older than they are, or look way younger than they are. And Gen Z, they look just older.
Yeah.
Most of the 99% of the time they look older. It's like, wait. You're how old?
Yeah.
You know?
I get a lot of I really started noticing this at work when I would card people for alcohol. There would be a couple in line or something, and they would come up and like, oh, I want two beers. And I'd just go, cool, I need your IDs. And I'm like, I know they're older than me. I know they are, whatever. Nope, 10 years younger than me.
Oh, shit.
You know? And I'm like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
Like, that dude was born, like, I was born in 92, but there's definitely been people who were born in, like, 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
You look 47. And then I love when because I just card everyone to play it safe, right? I love carding people who are older than me for sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. And then I'll be like, yeah, I like when people don't card me sometimes. Like, it makes me, or I hate when people don't card me. It makes me feel really old.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it only gets worse when you get older. And I'm like, well, how old do you think I am? And they're like, oh, like 25. I'm like,
yeah.
Shit, really? 25? And then I go, I'm 31. And they lose their mind.
When I was out of town recently, somebody asked me, how old are you? And I just said, I'm 32. Because I was just rounding up. And whatever. I'm 32. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm 32. I'm actually 31, but almost 32. They're like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were like 23. I'm like, 23?
That's
really?
That's steep.
It's very steep.
That's a steep
decline. And then they saw my salt and pepper. Yeah. And they're like, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
But you've had like the salt and pepper look for a while now.
Since I was 19.
Yeah. I honestly forget it until you bring it up or someone else says something, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it makes you look any older.
Really?
Not really.
Well, because I've always had it.
Yeah.
Though.
For me, I'm like, oh, Juan? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got black hair.
It's just more
looking
distinct.
at you quickly. I'm like, yep, it's not even there. You know what I mean?
Well, I've been finding white hairs in my beard.
Yeah, those ones got to go.
And in my chest hair.
Nice.
Yeah, I pluck them immediately because they're longer than the rest of my beard.
See, at least you're going like gray or white hair, and I'm just losing mine, so it's fine. For all you guys wondering why I always wear a hat on the podcast.
Awkward.
The one time I didn't, I just kept looking at my bald spot.
So yeah, that is the aging. I just don't understand. What did they put something in your milk?
It's the fluoride in the water.
The fluoride.
Yeah, no, but it is something. It is a thing, right? Because when you look at someone older than us and they're like 50s, 60s, you're like, yep. Yeah. They look 50 to 60 years old.
Yeah.
And then people in our age group, it's like, I feel like the people we went to high school with or in school with in general, you can always point them out in a crowd. But if they're standing next to someone else, you know, since we live in the same town we freaking went to high school in, it's easy to find the people we went to high school with. But if they were like, if you were in a room, like a bar full of people, you would not be able to tell what range people are, you know, in the age groups.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Because I do think that high school kids look like they're way older than high school kids. Like a family came in today and I could not tell who the mom was.
Really?
Until they came to pay. You know?
Yeah.
They all looked the same age.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Weird.
Is that like props to the mom or props to the kids? Like, or a diss on the kids?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's weird.
You know, there was a weird like age that for me, where I feel like I still look young, but like my dad has always looked young. And somebody thought that we were legit brothers, and I was like, no, my brother's over there who looks nothing like me.
And
like,
when I see your brother, dude, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a kid. You
yeah,
know? And he's not.
He's not a kid.
Not anymore.
But now he looks old.
He
looks 25 now. He does.
But when you look at him, you're still like, oh yeah, that's Juan's little brother.
Yeah.
That's your little brother. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's because you know him, right?
Yeah.
But if we found a picture of him and like 16 other people ranging from 21 all the way up to 31 that all kind of looked about the same, no one would be able to tell he's not, you know, at the top or bottom of that list, right? Yeah, the age thing that's going on right now is really weird.
Weird. Effing weird.
Effing weird. You know what else I got over here?
What else? What else do you got?
The biggest differences between our generations, and this has Gen X in it too, which is before us, right?
Gen X is before us. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So how different generations have fun. So the generation before us, they had more fun in person, you know, going to record shops and concerts and like having to go places to do things because they didn't have all the technology things that we had, right? So live music, going to buy things at physical stores because all media was physical media at that time. They had that. They got to go do those kind of things, right? If you wanted to go to the beach, you were going to the beach. You couldn't just look up pictures of the beach.
Go to the beach.
Who am I? Nicki Minaj. But yeah, before the internet, you had to go do those things, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't just be in your apartment or your house and have fun like that. But us millennials, we got a little bit of freedom, right? Because we had the internet at its infancy, you know, when it was really starting to take off. But we also were able to still go enjoy those physical things, like the physical media and like going out to concerts. We did all that stuff too. But we also we had the privilege of being able to listen to music on our computers and but we'd also have to buy CDs to use in our Walkman at school, you know, because iPods weren't a thing.
Yeah.
And then we could take videos and pictures of all these moments and memories and everything like that. And we were going to the movies, but then we also could stay home and just watch them on YouTube and Netflix, and all these things were coming out, right?
Yeah.
But now, like Gen Z, most of their stuff that they do is online, apparently, right? So while some of us, especially during like the pandy, got sick of being home and being on the computer all the time, like that was when Gen Z was supposed to be going out, right? And that's when they're supposed to be getting all that stuff. But a lot of the Gen Z is like staying in. You know, they're not dating as much according to this article. I don't freaking know anymore. But like screen time seems to be a huge thing that's going on, like with the Gen Z what's the word I'm looking for? With their whole generation, right? It's how they're getting their entertainment is totally different than our generation and the one before us. So I don't know. That's what the article said, and that was the last part of the article. So how they're having fun has changed.
But it's true, and you can see it. They got dating apps now. You don't have to go out and meet people anymore.
And I feel like our generation had a lot of that come up in it,
There's a little bit of both.
But I can't tell you, like, there were times when I was on dating apps, right? But I don't think I ever learned how to use them. And I feel like other people learned how to use them. Like, if that's all you know, that's all you know.
Yeah.
But, like, we also had the luxury when we were younger to go to bars and go do things and meet people that way. The way that made more sense to us.
Yeah.
And, like, online dating was so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I never enjoyed it. I never got a kick out of it. I never met anyone, from online dating. So it's like, I don't get it. But then there's a million other things. It's like, yeah, there are nights where I want to stay home on the couch and watch a movie there. But there are still so many times where I'm like, I want to go out.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't mean I want to go out drinking or I want to go out partying. It's like, I just want to get out of the house.
Go do something.
Get out. Like I told you yesterday, I went on a walk.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to go on a walk. So we did.
Yeah. And I feel that way too. It's like, sit down, turn on the TV. Sweet. Shit. I have to go do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there were those days.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to sound really crappy, but that's how I got home from work. I sat down on the couch and was like, I got to get up and drive to Juan's. But it wasn't like I didn't want to go. It was that I sat down. If I didn't sit down, it would have been better. But
yeah,
like tomorrow is my
Understood.
day. Tomorrow's my... No, I love you. I'm here. I came.
I understand.
Okay. But like tomorrow's my day off. You know what my plan is? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because I have worked so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not off tomorrow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay.
Usually you're off on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I usually am. So let's finish up my list here.
Okay.
Because you finished your article.
Yeah. The last point of that article was kind of trash, to be honest. Like, it didn't really give a lot of info.
Trash. What are you doing?
What are you doing, article? I'm not going to name it now because
don't name it.
That last point
don't
was
name
trash.
It. They don't deserve it.
Yeah.
How we have fun. Anyways, this
stealing
one,
DVDs from Blockbuster.
This one I don't have a comparison. Okay.
Because maybe we can find one together.
Maybe.
Or you guys can help. For your audio listeners, we're looking directly at the camera right now, like we're in like a children's TV show from.
You gotta think. We've done this before.
Yeah, we've done that.
We've done this before, and you didn't know what I was doing.
And I got a lot of hate for that.
You did.
I did.
You sure did. So this next one is Gen Zs make fun of millennials when they go out and they say, "You know how I know you're a millennial? You put your hands up when you dance."
I loved when you said this because I could immediately think of 16 to 27 songs that told us to put our hands up if we're having a good time.
We were literally told to put our hands up in songs. I have a small list here.
I'm gonna just type into. Did you know you could type into Spotify just lyrics and it'll try to find matches?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, how am I supposed to throw my hands in the air and wave them like I just don't care if I'm not allowed to put my hands up?
Yeah, I mean, let's go to a newer song that came out recently.
How am I supposed to win no matter what? If I can't put my hands in the air.
Bo Burnham had a song called All Eyes on Me from Inside that talks about putting your hands up. Matchbox 20 has a song, Put Your Hands Up. I'm trying to find anything else. Shout, Put Your Hands Up, right? And I'm saying Shout parts 1 and 2, like from the Isley Brothers, not. What about Just a Dream by Nelly? Party Rock Anthem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put your hands in the air.
Put your hands up by Jadakiss. Put Your Hands Up, DJ Khaled. Put Your Hands Up, Benny Benassi.
Oh my god.
What else we got here? TikTok from Kesha. Dilemma from Nelly and Kelly Rowland.
So many.
I could keep going. I'm sure. I don't want to get to a artist I don't know how to pronounce the name.
But
or something.
How many songs?
You Make Me Feel from Cobra Starship.
Music back then.
Applause, Lady Gaga.
Back in the day, they would just tell us what the F to do.
Yeah. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, and you shake it all about.
Put your right foot in, and you shake it all about.
Yeah.
How about left foot right now, or left foot John now?
Left foot right stomp.
Left foot right stomp.
Charlie Brown. You know the one.
Yeah. Cha-cha now, y'all.
The other one. The square dancing one that they do at the country bars all the time. That one.
What?
No, I don't know. Just someone will show you that dance no matter what. At country bars, they'll be like the line dance.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
Yeah, I know, but if you don't know it and you're there, someone will show you. And then guess what?
The electric slide?
That's a good one. That's another one. But someone will show you how to do those dances.
Yeah.
But the song showed them how to do that dance.
Yeah. Or stand up.
Sit down.
Stand up.
Oh.
Yeah. Sit the fuck down. Oh, jeez.
And then you put your hands up. And they stay there.
And they stay there. Up, down, up, down, up, down sometimes, and back up.
And turn them into a jump rope and jump through your arms. But no one can do that. Nobody can do that. But yeah.
3 hops this time.
Too many songs. And we've seen it a lot. When we used to go to clubs and stuff back in our younger days.
Yeah.
Most of those songs talk about putting your hands up if you're having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you Gen Zers can't get behind that,
yeah.
What are you doing with your hands? That's so important.
They're just in their pockets.
What are you doing? What are you doing with your hands? They're so
twiddling.
Important. But also fist pumping,
Yeah.
Jersey Shore really made that a thing for us. Does that count in this category, you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that one Superstar?
You
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts, I think.
Yeah.
Roller coasters, you put your hands up if you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, get with it.
Come on. Yeah.
So yeah, Gen Z's got a lot of beef with us, and that's fine.
It's okay.
We have a lot of beef with a lot of people too. Mostly our
because we're
millennials. Hatters. But we were conditioned to be so.
Sure.
We were told to do a bunch of things when we were kids to make our lives great, and we still are here.
Yeah.
Where we're just figuring it out still in our 30s.
And it's funny, one of the videos we were watching, it was like, Gen X humor, I hate my wife.
Uh-huh.
Millennial humor, I hate my life.
Yeah.
Gen Z humor, and it was like, doopity or something like that. It was like...
It was Ratatouille, but it said ratata.
Ratata.
Which I also think is ours, but whatever.
It's very fun. Very fun.
But yeah, there's a lot of beef.
Yeah.
A lot of beef. But also we're going through a cycle right now, and it's the whole history repeats itself thing. Like I said, the kids now, they're doing the 90s thing. We did the 80s thing. Our parents probably did the thing before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a thing that's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
We just got to deal with it.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about the things that we talked about today.
Are you a millennial? Are you Gen Z? Are you Gen X? Let us know.
And what do you think about the beef?
Yeah, what do you think about the beef? Is the beef really that beefy?
What do you think about the Arby's beef?
The beefinator?
The beefinator.
Is that what it is?
We have the meats.
That's their line.
That's their slogan.
Yeah. Wasn't Wendy's, where's the beef?
The Baconator?
Yeah, but wasn't Wendy's line in the 80s, where's the beef? Or, you know what I'm talking about?
Where's my beef?
I don't want to know where your beef is. But I do have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
So one, I already told you about that. So it's not a surprise to you. But have you ever just had like a silly thought cross your mind and you never ask anyone what the question and that comes into your head is? You know, just a really dumb question.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna give you an example one. And I think the people listening should answer these questions too.
Yeah. Because
these are questions that popped into my head randomly. And I was like, I'm never going to know anyone else's take on this.
Yeah.
So
let you get to know at least mine.
At least yours. And if you at home, listeners, want to participate, be sure to hop on the YouTube and drop a comment or on the Instagram or whatever. But here's an example one. You ever get one of those pains where you're just like, this is the one I'm going to die with? Just your body hurts for randomly?
Yeah.
And you're just like, nope, this one's killing me.
You know what? Yesterday, I don't know if I'm just dehydrated or what. I kept cramping.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was teaching my karate class and I was stretching. I wasn't even doing anything. Mm-hmm. I was stretching with my students and I was counting out loud. Mm-hmm. And then I just felt a horrible cramp in my ab area. Uh-huh. And I was like, ugh, this is the one. It literally took the air out of me to where I was like, I was like, 8, 9.
Yeah, just like that.
10. Oh. And I was trying to hide it. I don't think I was hiding it very well.
Yeah.
And then later on that night, I was throwing a kick, like slowly, and I got a cramp in my side and in my leg. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, just everything all at once.
I'm dying.
Yeah, this is it.
I'm dying. This is it. Yeah.
So another example one is what color is the worst?
The worst?
Yeah, what's the worst color?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think like neon orange is pretty bad.
Neon orange?
Like hunter's orange. I understand why we need it.
Uh-huh.
But I also just don't. I think it should only be used for that purpose.
Yeah.
For signs, like road signs, so you really see them, and people in the wilderness during hunting season.
Right.
Nothing else.
I think like a brownish green.
Yeah, like olive green, but like darker.
Like a vomit green.
Like that jacket that's hanging up right there?
That's olive.
You mean a little more brown than that?
Yeah, like brownish.
Like baby poop green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty terrible color.
Yucky.
Yeah.
Like that jacket. Hey.
The one you just bought? Okay, so the real one I wanted to ask you today, and this is not just for Juan, it's for everyone. We're gonna just do, what album would you erase from history? Like music album, what album would you erase from history?
Just completely.
Nobody remembers it.
Ever
not
has
even
to
you.
Think about it ever
not
again.
Not even you.
Okay.
What would it be?
You want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
My answer is.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you can guess. Do you have any idea what I'm about to say?
No.
None.
Nope.
Not even one.
Not even one.
All right.
Not even half of one.
The album that I will hands down erase. I will choose this album over and over and over and over till the end of time for no one to ever remember this album is the freaking U2 album that they forced onto our phones. Everybody had it.
Yeah,
and it always played when you didn't want it to.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want this. You can't delete it.
And you had to go through and like sign a form to say you wanted it erased from your library. Like,
yeah.
But they only let you do that 6 months after it had already been there.
Or probably longer than that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it was just, we were forced.
You know, I think that moment in time in history is what started the Android versus Apple debate.
You think?
I think so.
Because Apple forced us to have shitty freaking album.
That was around the time I was like, I don't want to be on iPhone anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like spoon feeding us
crappy
an album
music.
Have you ever heard of anyone that liked or even listened to that album?
No, because that band I can't stand. So I avoid people who like that band. I'm just kidding.
I've never talked to a single person who was like, "Oh yeah, I liked it."
Yeah, what's the name of that album?
No clue.
Yeah, me. I just know who the band.
No clue.
I know they messed up.
Erased.
Gone. Yeah, but it's funny to talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't want to erase it.
Yeah. The album that was forced onto my phone, and I had to accidentally listen to like 2 of their songs because it just like, like instead of Spotify playing, your Apple Music starts playing something random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always that.
It's always.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It's like, I don't want to listen to that.
I don't want to listen.
What even is this?
I never wanted to listen to it.
I remember I maybe got like a minute and a half into one of them, and I was like, "Oh, what is this?
Get it out!
Get it!" Oh my god,
I hate it. I'm like, oh, we're both. You're sick? Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you too.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you for answering that question for me. I'm going to choose to not answer right now because we're going to answer at another time.
Okay.
On the next episode. You can join. And I'll give you my answer.
All right.
And then I'll probably have another dumb question to ask you.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool if you start writing down all your dumb thoughts too.
Oh, they're going to be dumb. We're going to have to sift through them before we do the podcast.
In a question format is probably best because they're just dumb things that I think about throughout the day where I'm like, I wonder if anyone else has thought about that. Or I'm like, oh, what is my least favorite smell? Yeah. I want to know what everyone else's least favorite smell is.
Like,
because I know most people like that I know it's like, oh, their favorite color or, the smells they like in their house. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, eucalyptus. I love that smell. What do you hate?
Or, yeah. Or how
could I torture you?
How did 5-0 take on a dog and 5-0 goes west? A big, mean, angry dog.
He's just a little Jewish mouse who's trying to find his way home, bud. Okay.
Jewish mouse.
All right. We love 5-0 here, okay? Somewhere.
Yeah. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of BJ in the Morning. Be sure to drop us a follow at the following places you should be following in the places that you follow people, which would be Instagram, TikTok. What's the other one? Twitch. At
BJ in the Morning _
And if you're not already on YouTube, or if you're already on YouTube, go to YouTube. Wait, scratch that. Reverse it. If you're not already on YouTube, go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube,
put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
I was quoting more like Willy Wonka, but I get why you went there.
Yeah,
Millennial.
Well, like telling us what to do in a fucking song.
And the hands up. But if you're not on YouTube, go to YouTube. Drop us hit that subscribe button.
Hit it. Punch it.
Hit the like button.
Headbutt it.
Hit the bell. And if you're not on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube at
BJ in the Morning Podcast.
And you can find us on any of your favorite podcast listening apps.
At just BJ in the Morning.
Where's the podcast? Yeah. We do fun things.
Yeah.
There might be other content in the future. I don't know. We're millennials. We don't make up our minds all the time.
Yeah. True.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of BJ in the Morning. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Juan.
And
we will talk to you next time. Goodbye.